just like that, Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA, the team owners, the Players Association, in the split of an instance, all of it can change. In a split instance, all of it can change. If this injury does anything, it should be a wake-up call to the WNBA.
The WNBA just lost their golden goose, and they have nobody to blame but themselves. Caitlin Clark is out for a minimum of 2 weeks with a left quadricep strain, the first time she's ever missed a non-preseason game since her sophomore year in college. Caitlin Clark will miss at least the next 2 weeks with a left quad strain. The Fever are currently 2-2 on the year. Clark has started all 4 games so far and is averaging 19 points, 9.3 assists, and 6 boards per game. The Fever said more updates will be provided after doctors reevaluate her, but here's what's really infuriating. This injury might be connected to a preseason quad tightness that was never properly addressed. Was Clark playing hurt this whole time while getting hammered by dirty players and ignored by corrupt referees? The timing couldn't be worse, and the league is already in full panic mode. Let's wish Caitlin a speedy recovery. By commenting "Get well soon," CC down in the comments below. Let's go.
Players Association, the team owners, that just like that, all this fanfare, all this interest, all this newfound attention on the league can disappear overnight. Caitlin Clark's out 2 weeks.
Was Caitlin Clark playing on a damaged leg this entire time while everyone looked the other way? The evidence is starting to pile up, and it's absolutely maddening. During that Liberty game on May 24th, something wasn't right with Clark from the start. Her shots were falling short all game long, missing that explosive power we're used to seeing from her deep-range attempts. But here's what really should have raised red flags. Video footage caught Clark using a heat pack on her leg during the actual game. You don't need a medical degree to know that means she was already dealing with pain.
There is literally footage of Caitlin Clark putting heat compression towards her leg. There is literally footage of her putting heat packs on her leg. There is new footage of her heating up her quad when she's playing.
Coach Stephanie White admitted after the MRI results came back that she wasn't even sure exactly when Clark got injured. Think about that for a second. The team only found out something was seriously wrong when they got a message after the game. White said, "I'm glad that she did because we need to nip this in the bud," referring to Clark finally speaking up about her discomfort. That tells you everything you need to know about how Clark was hiding her pain.
I'm at the game. Caitlin Clark does not look right on the sideline. Caitlin Clark is coming out. She has heat compression on her quad. She was playing injured. And ironically, that is probably the best case scenario. That is probably the best thing. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's a bad thing. And trust me on this, it is probably the best case scenario that she's been actually playing through this and she was able to play through this fine.
Let's be real about what happened here. This wasn't some freak accident during the Liberty game. Clark missed the Fever's preseason opener because of left quad tightness. Now she's got another quad injury in the exact same leg. The team keeps saying this new injury is separate from the preseason issue, but come on. When the same muscle group fails twice in the same season, that's not coincidence. That's a pattern.
Maybe this will be the wake-up call that the NBA needs to clean up the officiating, to actually show that they appreciate this golden goose that has landed in their lap that goes by the name of Caitlin Clark. It's been so long where we've just seen this girl getting beat up in games. We see her get grabbed, hacked, bumped into, knocked on the floor. There's never any whispers from her.
Here's what makes this whole situation even more infuriating. Clark has been getting hammered by physical play for 2 straight years, through her rookie season until the first few games of this year. Defenders have been allowed to grab her, bump her off screens, and deliver hard fouls with minimal consequences from referees every game. She's absorbing contact that would get flagged for other players. The targeting has been obvious, and the officials have done nothing to protect their biggest star.
What was that play? Oh my God, this is rigged. This is rigged. She got yanked, fell on her hip. That's a hack.
Clark felt pressure to keep playing through whatever discomfort she was experiencing. She probably thought she could push through it like she is everything else, but this time her body said no. The terrifying reality is that Clark has been playing hurt while getting pounded by defenders who knew the refs wouldn't protect her.
The league is still resentful of her, it's still jealous of her, and it's still trying to put her in her place and give her nothing, make her earn something that she already earned last year when she put this league on the national map. For the first time ever, it was really, really and truly on the national map.
This injury was completely preventable. Proper rest after the preseason strain, better officiating to stop the targeting, and medical staff recognizing the warning signs could have avoided this disaster. Instead, everyone looked the other way while the league's most important player's body broke down. Now the WNBA faces their worst nightmare, and their immediate panic response shows just how much they depend on one person.
Caitlin Clark, somebody who was responsible for 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity last season, including revenue from merchandise, ticket sales, and television, is out for a minimum of 2 weeks. Minimum of 2 weeks, more like 4 to 6 weeks. Minimum of 2 weeks, because remember, that's when she gets reevaluated. More like 4 to 6 weeks.
Within hours of the injury announcement, the WNBA's worst nightmare became reality. League executives who had been riding high on Clark's popularity suddenly faced the terrifying prospect of empty arenas and plummeting ratings. The panic was immediate and visible. Teams that had gambled big on Clark's drawing power were now staring at potential financial disasters, he said.
I'm already seeing people saying, I'm taking a break. I'm already seeing people say, I'll be back in a little bit. These numbers are going to go down. The owners are going to walk into those negotiation rooms feeling themselves. Shout out to Beyonce. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling my... Again, they're lucky this is only a rumored 2 to 4 weeks. Because if the news was the season, people would tune out 100%.
The Washington Mystics had already moved their upcoming game against the Fever to a larger venue in Baltimore, banking on the massive crowds that follow Clark everywhere she goes. Now, they're dealing with refund requests from fans who bought tickets specifically to see the player sensation. You know what's embarrassing? Having to explain to disappointed fans that the only reason they upgraded venues was because of one player, and now that player isn't coming.
There is one thing, no doubt, that's about to happen. The WNBA teams that moved their games, this is about to be catastrophic for them. And it's kind of funny.
The Chicago Sky made an even bigger bet, moving their Fever matchup to the United Center, home of the Chicago Bulls. This massive arena upgrade was supposed to showcase the league's growth and popularity. Instead, it's looking like a potential disaster with thousands of empty seats. Imagine the optics of a nearly empty United Center during a nationally televised game. That's the kind of embarrassment that sets a league back.
Yep, that's the Baltimore game. I believe that's about a 15,000 seat arena situation. This one's at the United Center in Chicago. Good luck getting anybody there. Seriously.
Here's the thing that should terrify WNBA executives. Their entire revenue model depends on a 23-year-old player. The main matchup between the Fever and the Sky set a new record as the most watched WNBA broadcast in ESPN's history, drawing 2.7 million viewers and peaking at 3.1 million. Those numbers don't happen because people love the league. They happen because people want to watch. Caitlin Clark, CBS Sports, and other broadcasters are already bracing for a massive ratings drop. Advertisers who paid premium rates for Clark games are probably having some uncomfortable conversations with their media buyers right now. The league built their entire marketing strategy around one person, and now that person is hurt.
Will this be the wake-up call the WNBA needs? Caitlin Clark is out for at least 2 weeks. Now we are going to see what you guys, not just Indiana Fever, we're going to see what type of numbers this league can churn over without her.
Attendance projections for upcoming Fever Road games show the harsh reality. Without Clark, these games go from must-see events back to typical WNBA matchups with modest crowds. Teams that were planning special promotions and expecting sellouts are now looking at half-empty arenas and disappointed fans. The WNBA just learned they built their house on sand, and now it's crumbling 26 years into the league's existence. They finally found their superstar, and their negligence in protecting her is costing them everything. The financial scramble happening behind closed doors shows just how dependent they've become on Clark's star power. But while league executives panic about their bottom line, something even more disgusting was happening online as news of the injury spread.
A lot of you are like, this is perfect. All right, because the WNBA accused the fandom and gave validity to some online trolls. All, by the way, I wonder if the WNBA has given validity to some other online trolls.
While real basketball fans felt heartbroken, some corners of social media threw a party. The announcement of Caitlin Clark's injury immediately triggered a wave of disgusting celebration posts, particularly from Angel Reef fans and Chicago Sky supporters. These people were actually celebrating that a 23-year-old player got hurt. Let that sink in for a minute. The toxic reactions flooding social media exposed something rotten. Women's basketball posts celebrating Clark's injury spread across Twitter and Instagram, with users expressing glee that the league's biggest star was sidelined. Some fans openly admitted they were happy Clark couldn't play against their favorite teams. Others made jokes about the injury and suggested Clark was faking it for attention. The level of hatred directed at one player was absolutely shocking.
There are people celebrating Caitlin Clark's injury. There are people celebrating Caitlin Clark's injury. And these are all people that are in the "we don't hate Caitlin Clark, we just hate her fans" crew. No, they don't. They hate Caitlin Clark. They say we hate her fans just so that they can have an excuse. They hate her. They hate her.
This behavior connects directly to the season-long pattern of targeting Clark faced on the court. Players have been allowed to grab her, bump her off screens, and deliver hard fouls without consequences. The officials looked the other way while defenders took cheap shots. Now their toxic fan base is celebrating the inevitable result of that targeting. You can draw a straight line from the dirty play to the online celebration.